So guys, today's first topic, we will be doing how to upgrade F5. So we will be talking about how to upgrade F5 when F5 is in active standby box. So we will talk about all the steps starting from scratch, and then we will talk about how to take backups. So before upgrading any device or doing any critical activity, you need to know how to take configuration backup. So we will be talking about that. After that, we will be talking about how to configure everything using CLI, like command line interface. We have seen topics how to create virtual server using GUI. Now we will see everything using CLI. So we'll be talking about these three topics today. So I will be starting with upgrade. Before upgrade, I will be talking about how to download images from F5. So guys, when we talk about F5 upgrade, first step is how to download. So I will be talking about step by step, like how we will be downloading images. So we will have 5 to 6 steps when we talk about how to upgrade F5. So first step is you need to download an image. Let's say my F5 is on 12 version and I want to upgrade it to 13 or 14. So what is the best suggestion and how to upgrade? What are the configuration steps? So guys, everyone will have different steps. So whenever you are upgrading your box, you should upgrade with, let's say you are on 12 version, you should upgrade with +1. Don't upgrade version 12 directly to version 15 because every version has some new features. So always go with +1. If you are on 12, then upgrade to 13 first, then go to 14 version, then go to 15 version and see whether your application is working fine or not. So always follow N+1 formula. So this is the strategy. So when I talk about N+4, how to see the version number, let's see first. So we will go into F5 and let's talk about first how to see the current version of F5. So guys, first thing is you need to know how to upgrade version. Before that, you need to understand what is my version number. For that, you need to go to System tab and Software Management. So can you see this? Right now, our version is 12.1.0. And what is the disk it's installed? It's hard disk 1. And you will see there is an option called active default boot, means this version is active now. Now let's say guys, I want to upgrade 12.1.0 to 13.1.4. So how to do it? Now let's talk about that. So everything guys related to upgrade will be done on this step: system, software management, image list. So guys, can you see this? Currently I have 12 version. I don't have 13 version. So first step is I need to download it and then I need to install on this F5. So there is an option of import. So let's see. So first of all, how to download a new image. For that, you need to go into downloads.f5.com. So I will log in into my email ID and I will show you where you can download. For that, you need to have one F5 registration. You can sign up easily. It's not difficult. So you will see the screen downloads overview. So I will go here. I will see find a download. So see guys, whatever image you are, let's say you are on 13 version, you need to upgrade to 14. So click on 14. If you want to upgrade to 15, click on 15. So as I told you, F5 has virtual edition, F5 has ISO images, F5 has AWS images also. So you can download any of the image which you want. So in this case, what you will do is, let's say I want to upgrade to 13 version. So click on big IP version 13.x. Here guys, you will see many versions, but we want to find ISO. So F5 hardware images are in .iso format. So whatever you'd find. So let's say in 13 version, I need to go to latest. So these are the versions 13.1.0, 13.1.2. So in this case, I will go into 13.1.4, which is latest. I will click on this. I will say I accept it. So can you see this guys? There is a ISO images. You will get the description that will used for upgrade. So you just need to click it and you can select the location from where you need to download. I need to download from Australia, Ireland. So here it will start downloading. So I already have pasted in my desktop. So just select this and you will get the image. So once you get the image, my next step is, first step is we have downloaded an F5 image. Second step is we need to take a backup. So guys, whenever you take a backup of your F5, what does it mean? It is basically configuration backup. And when I talk about configuration backup, in configuration backup, that is called UCS. So it will have your virtual server configuration, pool members, and snat, nat, everything it will come. Health monitor, everything will be coming in your UCS backup. So let's talk because it's a critical change, right? So now let's talk about backup, very critical topic. So in which cases you need a backup? So you need a backup when you are doing any critical activities. Let's say you need to reboot your box, or let's say you need to upgrade your box, upgrade, reboot, or any other critical changes. Maybe you need to fail over, maybe some device have an issue, maybe you need to reboot your box due to power issue. So in this case, you should have a backup, because let's say if after reboot, your box does not come up. So in this case, you need a backup of your configuration so that you can restore it. So F5 has a very good option, which is called UCS. Every device has an option, but in F5 that is called UCS. What does UCS mean? User configuration set. And what does it contain? So let's first take how to do it and what does it contain. So first I will go into GUI. In GUI, I will go to System tab and there is an option called Archive, guys. So to take a backup of your F5, you need to go here, System. Then there is a tab which is called Archive. So when you go here, you need to take a backup so that you don't worry, right? You have a backup even if your configuration is not coming. Maybe after reboot, every configuration is removed. So in that case, it will be very easy, guys. You will not face issues when you have a backup. So that's why it's always recommended to take a backup when you are doing any upgrade, any critical activity, whether reboot, whether you have anything like critical changes. In that case, you can take backup. So you need to go here, create option. You will say, you can give the name date 6th November before activity. So always it's recommended to take a backup before activity and after activity. So before activity, you can take backup, and one backup you can take after back activity, so that you can verify whether any changes were changed or not. So this file which I will be creating, I will give the name in such way so that you can identify. So here you can see guys, one is encryption and one is private key. Very, very important guys. Encryption means, let's say you are storing this UCS file in your desktop. Because guys, here in F5, there is nothing, right? If you create a UCS backup here only, but you did not saved in remote server, maybe remote server is Splunk, or maybe you have a backup tool where you are doing it. So it's always suggest to save store UCS in remote location, because if this device, there is a backup stored and device is not coming up after doing any critical changes, then you will not able to restore it. So it's always suggested to store your UCS file in a remote location. And what is encryption means? Encryption is, I will save password so that no one can see my configuration. So you need to remember it. Generally, it's not suggested because our internal network is secure. But if you require, you can store it, you can secure it using password. That is why this option is given. Now, guys, second option is, what does this private keys contain? So private keys contains all your SSL certs and keys. Very, very important, guys. If you don't take private key include, then you will not get certs and key, because every in SSL handshake, everything is using certificates and key. So there will be a private certificate, private key. So for that, you need to select this manually. Otherwise, you will not get your archive of your keys. Once I do this, I will say finish. So it will take some time. So as we talked, what does UCS contain? Now we need to understand there is a backup concept, UCS, but what does it contains? It will contains all your configuration files. Second, it will contain your licensing. You don't need to reactivate license when you take a backup. It will contain your SSL certificate with private. And if you have user accounts, that will also be taken. So guys, that is what contains in UCS file. Your all configuration file like LTM. Here you can see local traffic, virtual server, pool member. It will take backup of all the things. So very, very important. People have questions like, what does it contains? So all configuration files, licensing, certificate with private key, and if you have created user accounts. User accounts means you have created multiple accounts of login. Let's say you have created one credentials for IT, I will discuss. One account for CSC department. So that is all about your user account. So guys, when it's saved, you will click OK. So you will see guys, backup. This backup is stored in your F5 box. Now how to download remotely? I need to keep this UCS file into remote. How to take this UCS file into my PC? So I will click on this. I will download. So this way, guys, it will download in my desktop, so that even if F5 box goes down, F5 goes down, I have a backup in my remote desktop, remote location. Now my question is, guys, let's say by mistake all my virtual server configuration gets deleted, all my pool member configuration gets deleted. How to restore it? I have downloaded. Now my question is how to restore it. How to restore UCS? When I talk about UCS, it means your configuration backup. So guys, before that, what I do is I will go into local traffic. I have taken a backup, right? Now what I will do is I will delete this virtual server. Let's see, because what I told you, right? Before doing any critical activity, take a backup. So I've taken a backup. I'm not worried even if all configuration get moved. So what I'm showing is I will delete all the configuration and whether it will get restored or not. It will not delete because pool is called on this. So it will give an error. So now guys, when I go to virtual server, I have deleted a virtual server. Can you see any virtual server? Now what I will do is I need to bring this virtual server again. I need to bring this virtual server again because by mistake I deleted. My engineer did not have any knowledge and he deleted the virtual server by mistake. Now I need to restore it. So what I will do is I will go to system, archive. I will click on this and I will say restore. So it will take some time because right now it's there. I will show you how to import it and restore from there also. Right now I'm restoring from F5 only. I'm restoring from F5 box only. So let's say it will take some time. So now I will go into virtual server. So far it does not come in. So it will take some time. So once it's restored, it will show you here the virtual server. So I will refresh. So can you see this? The configuration has not yet been loaded. So it will take some time. So guys, another scenario where UCS is required. One scenario is when you reboot, when you upgrade. First case is when UCS backup is required when you are doing upgrade. Second case is, guys, whenever you do a RMA. What does RMA means? Whenever you are replacing your box. Let's say, guys, this box is failed and it's not coming up. Hardware issue is there. In that case also, whenever you go and install new box, guys. So my scenario is, let me draw in whiteboard. So guys, my scenario is I had one F5 box, let's say F51. It is having hardware issue. Now I opened a F5 case. And after opening a F5 case, they detected that it's an hardware issue and you need to replace this box. So RMA means device got faulty. I will request F5, hey, I need a new F5 box, F5 2. So in this case, first thing is whenever you take a UCS backup, it does not restore your network configuration. That's why it's very, very important whenever you deploy an F5 box, you should know what are the VLANs, interface, and self IP you have configured. Because your network, even if you install a new box, what is the first step? Whenever you get a new box, first step is you need to configure management IP. Second step is you need to configure network IP address. Third step is you will configure virtual server and pool member. So whenever you replace the box, first you configure management IP, then you take network IP. Third condition is licensing. Fourth step is you need to restore UCS. So their UCS backup should be there in your desktop or any backup device, maybe backup server or anything. So that is one of the best scenario. This will be asked in interview, guys. Whenever you are replacing box from F5 to a new hardware box, what is how you configure it? First condition is you should have a backup of your box. If you don't have, you will not able to configure. So that is why you need to know it, how to create a backup. And you need to also know what files are included in your UCS file. Now, once you do this, let's see what will happen. Let me go here again. See guys, I deleted virtual server, but I also restored it. Can you see this? Now it's showing again a same virtual server. I did not do anything. If by mistake, guys, I did not have a UCS backup, then I would not have restored it. That is why UCS is very, very important, guys. You need to know how to take a backup. And you also need to know in which scenario you need a backup. Also, guys, there are questions whenever you restore UCS in another box. You tell me, guys, do you need a license or not? My question is, when you restore UCS into new box, will my license file will work? No, guys, license is unique to new box. Very, very important, guys, because your license has a serial number. So you need to take a consideration when you restore a UCS. So you need to first relicense the box, and only then only you can restore the UCS. Very, very important, guys. This is very, very important thing to do. Whenever you are restoring UCS into new box, you need to first relicense the box. If you don't do, it will cause issues. And I will talk about whenever you upgrade also, in that also you need to check whether license you need to restore or not. Means like license need to reactivate or not, I will tell you. But you need to take this into consideration, how to take a backup. So guys, we have talked about UCS and how, so we talked so far how to take backup of F5. Second thing, how to restore it. Now guys, there is one more backup file. One is UCS and one is SCAF. So you need to understand. Also guys, UCS is stored in this location /where/local/UCS. This is the directory in which all your UCS file is stored. So let me show you again. So when I go to System tab, Archive, when I create here, let's say I'm creating 11th November, sorry, 6th of November after activity. You will see when you save it, it will save in your var/local/UCS. So can you see this? var/local/UCS and the name. So this will be stored in /var /local/ucs, then you can give the name of the file. Now there is one more concept which comes into picture is SCF. So what is the difference between UCS and SCF? SCF means single config file. So guys, sometimes it's required that let's say I have a configuration on one box. I need to replicate this configuration into multiple boxes, multiple F5 boxes. So SCF is just a configuration file. So it's a text file basically. So you can just, whenever you create a SCF file, you can first case is SCF is required when you need to replicate the configuration into multiple F5 boxes. Another case, guys, whenever SCF is required is, let's say I'm on virtual edition. I need to move into hardware box. So SCF is also required in this case when you are doing migration. When you are migration from one platform to another platform. Very, very important, guys. One platform means under, like, let's say you're in virtual edition, you need to move into another option, which is physical box. So that is what is one difference. Second thing, guys, when I talk about UCS backup was containing your license file, your certificate file, and everything. But SCF file is just, it will contain your configuration. It will not contain your licensing. So it will just contains your, because UCS is containing your license file also, but SCF does not contain your license file. That is one difference. And one thing more is when you need to replicate the configuration across multiple boxes quickly, you can use SCF. Another thing is when you are migrating from virtual edition to a hardware box, in that also you require an SCF. So how to create SCF? SCF you will not see. SCF is always created using CLI command. You cannot restore or upgrade or create SCF file using GUI. There is no option, guys. So when I go to archive, very, very important, guys. This question will ask in interview, can I take SCF using GUI? Can I take SCF using GUI? No. So how to take SCF backup using CLI? So I will go to Putty and I will show you. I'll just log in and I will increase the size. So guys, to save a command, there is a command save sys config file. Then you need to give a name. Let's say ltm01.scf and I will say no passphrase. So this is how you need to take an SCF backup. So can you see this? It will be stored in var local SCF then ltm01.scf. So the command is, I'm just writing save sys config file, then file name. Then if you want to apply a password to a file, you can do it using passphrase. Otherwise, you can just give no passphrase. So this is how, guys, you can do it. So now question is, this is a backup. How this is a command to take a backup of SCF. Another thing, how to restore it. Now to do it, you cannot restore using GUI. For that, what you need to do is, so my another question is how to restore SCF. So how to restore SCF, you need to type a command load sys config file, then it will give you just click a tab. So I'm just repeating, load, save is to save the backup, load is to load it. Load sys config file, then press tab. You will see the file name. Very easy, guys. Just click on tab, you will get other options. So just type a file name, you will get it. So this is the file to take a SCF backup. This is the file to restore. Save and load. What is the difference? Save is to save, take a backup of F5. Load is to restore it. That is the difference between save and load. So guys, that is it for a backup. So guys, when we are upgrading the box, first step was, let's go back into F5 upgrade steps. So when I talk about F5 upgrade steps, we downloaded an image. Second step, we take a backup. Third step now comes into picture is licensing. So guys, whenever you upgrade a box, you need to first check whether you need to reactivate a license or not. So whenever you upgrade a F5 box, before that you need to check it. Sometimes license reactivation is required. So in this, how to reactivate licensing, you need to understand two terms, whether reactivation of license required or not. So let's see. So whenever I talk about license reactivation before a software upgrade, so is it yes or no? So let's talk about that. So whenever reactivation of license you are checking, there is a concept called service check date. Second thing is license check date. So there are two commands to check. So there is a condition I will tell you, but you need to understand these two concepts to check whether you need to reactivate the license or not. First is survey check date and second is license check date. So what is the difference? Service check date and second thing is license check date. So when I talk about service check date is basically a date which is located in big IP license file. And what does it contains, guys? It is the same date when your license was last activated, guys. Let's say you activate the license on 6th of November. So service check date will be 6th of November. It is the same date when license was last activated. Because your license will get expired, right? In virtual edition, your license get expired in 1 month. So let's say my license was expired on 5th of November and I reactivated on 6th. So my service check date will be 6th of November. So service check date is the date whenever your license was last activated. Very important, guys. Now, what is license check date? This service check date is dynamic. It is changing whenever you reactivate your license, but the license check date is static. Static means license check date comes with your product. Whenever a release comes like 13, 14, 15, there will be a license check date. It is the static check date when the software got released. When the software initially gets released, that is called license check date. So every version has a license check date. How to check it? Go to Google. Just check license check date F5. It's a very good article they have given. So topic, you will also see this, whether a license activation is required or not. So when you go here, you will see the license check date. So license check date is a static date. Can you see this? Every version has a license check date. So let's say, guys, I want to upgrade from 12 version to 13. So I need to check the license check date of a 13 version, not 12 version. The version from where to where I'm going, I need to check the license check date for that. So I am upgrading from 12 to 13 version. I need to check it this date. So let's say I was on 12.1.5. I need to upgrade into 13.1 dot something. So I will go and check this. So license check date is whenever you get a software release. It's a fixed date. It does not get changed. So I need to upgrade to 13.1.x. My license check date is 2017 9/12. So it was released in 2017. Now, guys, what is the condition in which your license needs to renew? So the condition is, I'll just again come into that diagram so that you will get to know about that. So whenever this is required, you need to understand. So service check date condition, if service check date is greater than license check date, then you don't need to reactivate the license. You can upgrade without reactivation. Very, very important. If service check date is greater than license check date, you don't need to reactivate license. Very, very important. If service check date is earlier than the license check date, in that case, system will fail to load the configuration. In that case, you need to reactivate the license. But if service check date is greater than license check date, you don't need to reactivate the license. So how to see the service check date? I will go into this system tab, licensing. Can you see this? Survey check date is 2021 and license check date for 13 version is 2017. To 2017 is greater than 2017. Do we require a license activation again? No, guys. No license reactivation. Very, very important. If let's say your survey check date was 2016. So 2016 is greater than 2017? No. In that case, you had required to reactivate the license. So you need to understand the difference between a survey check date and a license check date. So that is how you can reactivate. Now, how to reactivate? So this concept you can write what is survey check date and one is license check date. Survey check date is greater than license check date, no reactivation. If survey check date is lesser than license check date, in that case, license is required to reactivate. Now, how to reactivate the license? So in this case, what you need to do is how to reactivate is you need to go into System tab, License tab, then there is a Reactivate option. So click on Reactivate. You will get a license key from F5. So just add it, delete this and select a new key. Then according to you, you can move it. The same way you get the license, the same way you need to reactivate on the same tab, guys. That's it. So you will get a key from F5. You just click on paste registration key, then manual method, then next. So where you need to go system, licensing, reactivate. So this is how you can reactivate your license. So now what is the other step, guys? So we have talked about downloading. We have downloaded a ISO image. We have taken backup. We have taken check the license, activation or reactivation. Fourth step is how to import new image. We have downloaded, but how to import new image? Because to reboot from a new image, you need to import it. So next type is how to import it. So you need to go to System, Software Management, Image List. Can you see this import option? So I will go to Import. I will select Choose File. And I will go to Documentation. So this is the file which I have downloaded. It will be stored on ISO.iso. So I will click here, open and import. So please do not, very important, please do not leave the page before upload gets completed. So guys, very important step. After you have taken the backup, check the license reactivation, you need to first import new image. Because if you don't have an image, you cannot reboot, right? So it's same like boot location. When we talk about boot location, you require a importing of your image. So it will take 5 minutes for importing. So once it's import, I will install it and reboot it. That's it. So F5 upgrade only requires 7 steps. So when I talk about F5 upgrade is just a 7-step. Downloading of new image, backup, then reactivation licensing check. I will say license check. Fourth step is import. Fifth step is install. I will show you how to install it. Sixth step is you need to force offline the box. The box which you are upgrading, you need to force offline. I will tell you why it's required for force offline. Force offline means shut down. And seventh step is change your boot location. So this is skilled inspirational steps. How to upgrade F5 in 7 easy steps. That's it. How much time it takes? 15 minutes to 20 minutes. So guys, there is a question from every team. Whenever you deploy or upgrade F5, customer will ask you how many time it takes for you to upgrade the box. So you can just tell them it takes around 15 to 20 minutes, depends on your hardware level. Now guys, I will talk about how to, this is the step. I hope everyone has taken the snapshot. Now I will tell you active standby, what I mean by active standby box. Let's say guys, I have an F5 upgrade task in my production environment. I have F5.1 box, which is active. I have F5.2, which is standby, guys. Now my customer came to me. Hey, Skilled Inspirational Academy, SIANETS.com team. I need to upgrade F5 box. So guys, whenever your box are in HA, so in HA there is a term called active standby. Why it is required? Let's see if this box goes down, all the traffic goes on this F5 and this device become active. So whenever you upgrade an F5 box from any version, let's say I want to upgrade from 12.1.3 to 13.1.4. In that case, my activity will be, first I will upgrade my standby box. Then what I will do, after upgrading my standby box, I will move my traffic. I will fail over all my traffic and make this box as active and this as standby. Automatically it will become standby. Then I will ask my application owner to check whether my all applications working fine or not. If customer says my application are having issue, in that case what you will do, you will fail over rollback. So what you will do, this make this box as active again. So what will happen, this will be 12 image, this will be 13 image. In that case your outage will get prevented, guys. So my second question is, customer will ask you whether you get any outage whenever you upgrade any box. Do we face any outage? So your question, your answer should be, it does not have any outage because my F5 are in HA. So I will upgrade first standby box. I will move my traffic from active to standby and make it active. Then only I will upgrade another box. So question is, again, I'm repeating, does F5 upgrade creates any outage? No, guys, it will not create outage. You can just tell them 1 to 2 minutes glitch can be there, but there is no outage. Sometimes you will not feel any outage. So that is very, very important, guys. This will be an caution. So you need to tell customer clearly, right? You should be confident. So that's why you should know how to fail over the device and how to restore it. So when I talk about failover, guys, failover is just an easy step. I will talk about failover in HA. Before that, you also need to see, let's say I upgraded my box from 12 to 13 version. I need to again move into 12 version. So we will check that also. How to restore and boot from old image. Very, very important. So let's see, guys, whether import has been done. So it's almost done. So before that, I hope So far what we have discussed, everyone is clear. We discussed first backup, then we discussed about active standby, how to upgrade a box in active standby. Same thing, guys, nothing to worry. So you always upgrade and standby box, then fail over to active. Then you will fail over to standby to make it active. And we talked about UCS versus SCF. Then we talked about in which case UCS is required, in which case SCF is required. UCS, use case. And then we talk about very important step, which is called license reactivation. Also, guys, sometimes interview will ask you, by default, your F5 image stored in which location? So your F5 images are stored in your shared images. So when I click on my CLI, guys, there is a command. You need to go to bash cd shared, then cd images, or you can do one ls. So here you will see images tab. So I will go to cd images. Now I will do ls minus l. So right now no image is there because import is happening. So how, where the F5 images are stored? It's stored under this directory /shared/images. These are the question very less people will ask, but you need to know it. And CLI, I will come so that you will understand. Next topic is CLI, very important. I hope everyone has seen the video of CLI in my YouTube channel, but I will again repeat it. Let's see if our import has been done right. So guys, can you see this? There is one installed image and one is available image. And guys, by default, when F5 is installed, F5 comes with 3 partition boot location: SD 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3. SD1 is your main partition, main disk, and it has been segregated into 3 boot location. So guys, whenever you upgrade a box, you need to boot it from another version. Let's say SD 1.1 is a active, yes, boot location. So you need to create a new volume. Generally in hardware box, you will see 3 images: 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3, 3 location, 3 boot locations. But in VMware, I'm not saying it. So when you upgrade a box, you need to boot it from another partition. You cannot move the same image on same partition, right? Because it already have 12 image. So how to do disk management? So you need to go to disk management. Can you see this, guys? You have 96 GB free. Very important, guys. Whenever you upgrade a box, whenever you are booting it, you need to first check how many hard disk is required. What is the space which is free? So right now 96 GB is free, generally takes 4 GB. So we are good. Now guys, I need to create in my lab. I do not have any boot location, guys. So guys, I need to install it, right? I told you, first I import it, then I will install it. So when I click on install, I do not have any volume. I'm getting any volume? No. So what I will do is I will select 1.q install, or I will say just I will select q. You will just give, because 1.1 it will take. So I will select volume set name as q. So it will say you that I am installing my new image on another boot location. You will see this. Can you see this? Automatically, Your new image will be set on boot location sd1.2. By default, you have a main hard disk sd1. It's going segregation 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3. So that is how partitions are been segregated. So it will take some time. Another step, guys, before doing this, it will take some time. 10% it will show you. Once it's completed, we will boot it. But before that, guys, you need to understand whenever you are upgrading from 12 to 13 version, you need to check what is the new features release. So you need to check the release notes to introduce what are the new features. Generally, it's not required, but sometimes the issues will be reported. So you need to check the release notes, have been introduced. So you need to go here, Google, there is a release notes, F5 release notes for 13.1.4. So guys, whenever you are upgrading, so you need to check what are the difference between what was happen in 12 version, what happened in 13 version. It will give you. So it will give you what are the platform it's supporting, what is the memory it's required, and new features. So new features, you go here. So this article generally it's not required. Generally F5 refers it, but you need to see what are the new features been introduced. It will give you all detail. So save this article. There is a concept called release notes. So generally when you are upgrading, you need to see what are the new features been introduced. If you have time, you can do it. Otherwise, when you are upgrading, you need to open a F5 case also as a proactive. So they will support you in case any issues will happen because you are doing hardware. And why upgrades are required? Maybe some bug have been reported, maybe something is there. So in that cases, you require changes. So it will take some time for booting it. So right now it's 10%. So once it's completed, we will reboot it. So I was talking about release notes. One concept is release notes. Also, guys, you can see after you can see one thing 12.1.x, 13.1.x. What does it mean? So it means the release version number based on your infrastructure. So after 12 version, there is no hotfix to be installed, guys. So previously, when you are moving from 12 to 13 version, before upgrading from base image, you need to require a hotfix also to be uploaded and upgrade. But after 12 version, let's say you need to move from 12 to 13, 13 to 14, you don't need a hotfix. So hotfix is generally only required when there is a bug reported. But before 12 version, there is a criteria that you need a hot fix also. So that's why you need to understand what is hot fix. So hot fix is nothing, but it was a prerequisite before upgrading to a base image. So where you can see, I will show you that also. And sometimes hot fix is given by your engineering team. Let's say guys, there was some bug identified by F5 team and they will give you one hot fix. In that case, what will it will be a fix where you don't need a upgrade, but you need a hot fix. So this will be given by F5 team. This is not available openly. So F5 engineering team will prepare this for particular bug. So for every bug, they will give you some hot fix which you need to install it. So upgrade is one thing, and another thing is there is a hot fix. So hot fix is required to resolve any bug. So that's why I was talking about this hotfix, very, very important. So why hotfix is required, you need to understand. So it's same like an image, but you will see here. Can you see this? One is image list and one is hotfix list. So you will go to hotfix. So it's the same thing F5 will give you. You need to import it and you will get a hotfix. That is what is required. That's it. Some one people have a question like, what is hotfix? Hotfix is fix for a bug. So now let's talk about last step of an upgrade before it get completes. I will go here. So there is one 13.1.1. What does it means? 13 is called a major release. 1 is called a long-term stability release. Generally, you don't need to know this, but just a extra thing which I am providing. And this one is a maintenance release. So people sometimes have asked the question to me, what is this 1.1, 1.2 means? So these are the different long-term stability release which F5 will introduce yearly or sometimes. So you will talk about, you can say this as a major release, this as a minor release. So that is all about upgrade. So it is 53% completed. It will take some time. And how to check the current version? I have shown you system, software management, the version which is activated, guys, which means that version is active. So there is a default boot and an active location. So you need to understand this also. So by default, whichever partition is active, that version is active. And you cannot move that image into another partition. So we talked about image list, hotfix list, and one is boot location, guys. So whenever new boot location will be created, 1.2, let's say, you just need to click on SD1.2 and just reboot from that location. That's it. So let's wait for 2 minutes before it complete. It will give you here the status. So can you see this version is 13.1.4. Again, I'm repeating, you need to go to downloads. You need to go to particular version. Generally, F5 suggests to upgrade to the latest version. So here you will get the latest version. 12, 13, 14, 15, where you need to go. Let's say I need to upgrade to 15. So 15 version, you can select 15.0.1, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and 1.4. So I will click on 1.4. Here you will click on 15.1.4. Here you will accept the condition. And then you need to just download this ISO image. That's it. People will have some confusion where the ISO image is stored. So it's stored here. You need to download it from here. So it's 71% completed. Let's give us 2 minutes before it gets. So guys, can you see this? I have now imported the image. I installed it. So now what I will do is I will go into boot location. Then I will go to SD1.2. Then can you see this, guys? This is the step you need to do it in your production environment. What I was talking about, importing and install, you can do it any window. You don't need any downtime, guys. You can do it before upgrade window also. Only step you need to do at your upgrade window, which will take 15 to 20 minutes, is activate step. You will just activate. So before that, guys, can you see this one command, install configuration? Generally, it's not required, but you can click yes also. What does it mean? Is let's say today you are on 12 version, and after 4 days you are coming and upgrading to 13. Means you have installed it, you imported it, and there were a lot of changes. So to move all the changes what were done on that 4 days to get it into 13.1.4, you can click install. Generally, it will get sync, but generally it's recommended to select yes. It does not harm anything. So that any configuration changes you did on last 4 days, you can do it, and it will give you source volume. I will just activate, guys. Can you see this? Are you sure you want to boot into another version? I will say okay. Now, guys, it will boot it. That's it. Now it will get rebooted it, and it will get upgraded from 12.1.0 to 13.1.4. So here you will see it. First shutdown will be done. Meanwhile, you can do one thing. You can go to command prompt and you can just apply ping to see whenever the device comes up, you will come to know 192, 168, 137.60. So right now it's getting shutting down. So you will see ping loss. Also, guys, whenever you do upgrade, you need to take a console. You need to have an engineer at data center to see what's happening. So I will go to CLI and see what are happening. So can you see this? Reboot requested. So always it's recommended to do upgrade before upgrading. Just get a console of your F5 box. You need to have one data center engineer on site. Never ever upgrade the box if you don't have a console, because let's say by mistake it gets stuck, you will have the visibility. So always have the console access so that you will get an idea. Can you see this? You are getting time loss. Now upgrade is in process. So can you see this? Everything you will see what is happening. It will tell you everything what will happen. Now I will, here also you can see first thing, second thing you have a GUI access, third thing you have a CLI access. This is you need to take care. Once it's done, the same thing you can upgrade your another box. So that way you will upgrade both the boxes active standby. So it will take some time again. So reboot is in progress. So guys, box has now come in. So you will see in 1 minute, screen is getting adjusted. So you can see shutting device, it will take some time to settle down. So shutting down the device, then a reboot completed. So I'm just, give me 1 minute. I'm just pausing it. So it takes some time for screen. So I'm just log in again. So I was saying that upgrade has been done. So I'm wanted to verify. So this is the command show says software. So you will see here which image is running. So this is the image which is running 13.1.4. And I was showing you like how it got upgraded. So you just log in again 192.168.137.60. Admin. You will go into system software management and you will see that 13 will be your active default boot location. So this confirmed that you have upgraded your box from 12 to 13.